Okay, so hi, welcome back to Plants and Fiddles. Thanks for joining me for the second video. We did say we'd come back and we would repot these ones, so I've completely left them. I've left them just to get used to their new climate, their new home. So they haven't been touched at all, they've just been literally placed on the shelves behind me. I did want to say is apologies, the freebie is not actually a cupria, because apparently I can't read. This is actually a golden bone. A cupria actually looks something like this, and they're really metallic, the leaves, they're really red. You can't quite see here maybe, but the sheen on them, it's really reddy purple, and they really shine. This is just a corn that I took off one of my mother plants a while ago. This is just in pon, in self-watering pot. But yeah, so I just wanted to clear that up first and foremost. So without further ado, let's get these repotted. I am going to put the alocasias into pon. I do use Soil Ninja pon. I find it really good. All of my alocasias seem to thrive off it. I did have problems with alocasias before in soil, but they all seem to have bounced back with being in semi-hydro, so yeah. Everything else is going to go into Anthurium and Orchid Mix by Soil Ninja, because they're Anthuriums and they do really well. And the Philodendron, to be fair, quite likes the chunky mix as well. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. So we'll first of all start off by literally just unpacking these. And I've got like 7 thumbs, so I hate it when there's accidents that happen and I end up ripping a leaf off because it's sellotape. But let's hope for the best. So, as you can see, this one's a plug plant. You can see the plug there, it's been potted up. It's looking really good, it's got some good roots. So yeah, that one will be good. I'll leave the alocasias last, we'll do the anthuriums first. Make sure not to catch this new leaf, because they're oh so delicate when they are just hardening off. Again, these are from Chop and Grow. These are part of the mystery box, apart from one that was on a bid, which is the alocasia tattoo, and one which was a freebie. I'm not potting up the different back here today, and I won't be potting up the staghorn fern today because we're going to be mounting that one. So I thought for a later video, maybe we could do that one. But yeah, another one, really nice. Small pot. It's quite a crumbly mix. So yeah, we'll see how this one does. And let's start with those 2 first, and then we can progress with the other 3. So I am not as clumsy, I'm more clumsy than most of the others out there, so I prefer not to use a potting mat and an actual tray, because otherwise soil will be everywhere and my Dyson will not approve. So yeah, without further ado, let's go. So you just really want to loosen the pot up first. These are quite wet because Joe does make sure they're well watered beforehand. That came out really easy. It's got some really nice roots on it. As I say, you can see that it is a plug plant because it's coming away from that plug straight away. It's got lovely white roots on it. You don't need to get all the soil off, it's going back in soil, so it's completely fine, but I do tend to like to break up the plug. So yeah. Don't worry if you snap some, it's completely fine. Just be as gentle as you can and try and get as most of the soil off as you can as well. So I'm going to be putting it up into one of these little see-through towel pots. Again, they're not expensive at all, about 60p each. But yeah, it'll do quite well in that. You can see the roots through it, so you can keep an eye on it. Again, as I said, this will be going into Soil Ninja, Anthurium and Orchid mix. It's really trunky. It's got zeolite and perlite bark and soil, but there's no extra fertilisers in it, so you know that you can go ahead and fertilise and feed your plant as and when you want. Whereas some of them do have extra fertilisers in, so just check what you're actually putting your plant into before you give it food and fertilisation. Give it a gentle tap just so that it all settles in around the roots and fill up where needed. Just make sure not to pot it too deep. You want it to be as deep as it was in its previous pot. So yeah. So that's the Anthurium veitchii. This one's the Regal. And we'll just do exactly the same. As you can see, this one's got really good roots. So I do have a separate tub in here just to put all the old soil in, just so I'm not mixing it in with the new stuff. It's really crumbly, this stuff. It's actually really nice. But yeah, this will go in the same size pot. Again, just a little tower pot. Make sure not to damage the new leaf. Watching that new leaf, guys. It can be quite tricky getting the big pieces of bark around the roots, but just do your best. It'll bounce back. It'll bounce back, guys. And then what I will be watering it with later is I use an nurture system. It just works really well with my stuff. I found that everything's really bounced and thrived since using it, so don't fix what's not broken. But yeah, so there's the little Regal all potted up. And those are the two Anthuriums right there. So let's go for the Alocasias next, because then we can do Pon. Pon's like the brand name, if you don't know. But as I said, I use Soil Ninja. I found that using certain brands, some of the airflow wasn't where I have them isn't the best, so they were going a little bit mouldy, whereas I've never had any problems whatsoever with the Soil Ninja stuff. I prefer the coarser things. It gives it more airflow around the roots. I'm really sorry about the noise. Gives it more airflow around the roots. I just like it better. I have got a Mitchellitziana, which lives up in the bathroom, and a Frydek. They're both in semi-hydro, and they're doing really well. Really well, actually. The Mitchellitziana has 3 or 4 pups in it, so it's really filling out in there. I will show you that one day. In the meantime, I'll just struggle getting the sellotape off this one. What I am going to do is, because this is going in pot, is I'm going to go and wash this off anyway. So I will be back shortly with all the soil off. What I'll do is I'll wash both of them, then I can just pot them both up with you. Yeah. Okay, so we're back, and as you can see, roots are all clean. You will still get some that sticks on the roots, but it's not a problem. Just get as much as you can off. They both look to have corms starting on them already, so there's quite a big one there for the size of the plant, and then this one you might not even be able to see, but there's a teeny tiny one just here. So they'll be new plants. I'm not going to take them off because they are really, really small still, and it'll just make the plant push out a bit more, so we'll leave those. So as I said, these are going into semi-hydro. Soil Ninja, make sure you wash it first, any semi-hydro that you get. And True Blue Peter form, here's some I prepared earlier. So yeah, just give it a really good rinse, get all the dust off, otherwise obviously it impacts your plants because the dust goes on to the roots. So just using these, they come with a clear infill and a wick. It wicks up the water, and you've got a water level there so you can see how deep it is and how much you've got left. But yeah, so you're literally exactly the same as you normally would. Put a small bit of foam first. Again, sorry, this will be noisy, but just hold your plant in place and pour it in like you would with soil. You don't need to tap it down, you don't need to shake it. It'll generally just fall into place because of the weight of it. But give it a little tap, just a really gentle one because you don't want to damage the roots. And that's that one done. And then exactly the same with the second one. So I've already put the wicks in these. They just wick up the water and give the pond something to soak up. Get as much of the soil off as you can, but it's more important that you're not damaging the roots. So if you can't get all of the soil off, it's not too big a deal. And literally all I do to do that is crumble off as much as I can with my hands. I'm going to get a room temperature pot, well, room temperature water in a pot, and then just try and gently swish it around, just to loosen anything that's on the roots. So yeah, so again, this is what it looks like. But yeah, that's the golden bone. So that's those two done. So all you do with those is then fill it up with your fertiliser and your water, as high as you can really, so you can see, but leave a little bit of a gap at the top so that you know that you've not overfilled it. You don't want it to go into the reservoir, you want the wick to wick up as much as you can, as opposed to drowning the plant. These may go downhill a little bit because they've got soil roots, but they will bounce back. So the last one that I'm going to do with you today, okay, we good? Wicked. I do apologise, I did say that Athena would have been to the hairdressers by now. We haven't managed to make it today, so she will be going next week. In the meantime, she's just going to be scruffy. You good? Awesome. Now in true form, I've forgotten my tub. That's in the kitchen because I took that through to put all the alocasia soil in. The last one, so I'm not too worried. I just didn't want to contaminate everything with the same soil, so I will just be super careful with this one. I need to work out the scissors. There we go. So I forgot my snips, can't get the sellotape off, so I emptied the tub. And now we're back. There looks to be quite a few pups in here, but we'll leave them all together because it's going to get used to it. It's the environment, you don't want to stress it out too much, so then just gently pull it out of its pot, get rid of as much soil as you can. It's got some really good roots. Don't worry about breaking some roots, just be as gentle as you can. Inevitable, you will lose some. And it will just promote more root regrowth anyway. Again, this is a plug, so you can see the plug in there with the soil. So we'll try and break that up. That comes off pretty easy. But as you can see, it's not got a net on it, it's completely fine, it's just quite a dense soil that the plug's in. So I'm going to leave it that because it's going back in soil anyway. I don't want to annoy it too much. So this one's going to go into a slightly larger tower pot, so I have two to choose from. Let's just have a look. Yeah, I think that one will do nicely. So again, just going in with Anthurium and Orchid mix. Light sprinkling in the bottom, and then just make sure you've got all your roots in there. Try not to tuck any of the leaves in, try not to cover any of those up, because they don't do well in soil, surprisingly. Fill around. Make sure you've not got too many massive air pockets. And you don't want to fill it too deep either. You don't want to plant it any deeper than it was previously, because it can damage the plant, it can cause issues. Just with rotting and things like that, and you want to cause as little stress as possible. It's going into a new home. If you've moved house before, think about how stressful that can be. Press down for sturdiness. Yeah. So we're just in an air pocket in there. I'm not promising next time I will be doing the mount because I've got to figure that out. Might reach out to the Mount King himself, Memo. See if he can give me hints or tips on how to do that. But yeah, there we go. With the black cardinal in its tail pot. These will all go in. They're not the prettiest, but just so that any draining or anything like that. What I do when I water them is I have a IKEA drainage tray. So it comes in a bowl, it's quite slim. and then it has a drainer on top. I just put them on, water them through, and then I can take them out once they're finished. I can leave them there for a while because it's got the catch pot underneath, and that's it. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. So there's our black cardinal, our 2 alocasias, golden bone, and the tattoo. And then we have our 2 anthuriums. There we go. And the Vice, the king anthurium. All potted up, all ready for a water, and then we'll settle them in. They'll probably go into the cabinet. The anthuriums will go on the shelves behind me, and I will have to find a place for the black cardinal. But yeah, thanks so much for coming again. We will be doing more, so please like, subscribe and comment, and come back next time, and you'll see, hopefully Thea will have had her hair done by then and will look less like a rock star. But yes, thank you so much. Bye.